Alright guys, good morning and welcome to day 3 of the Olympic level programming here. You're going to see that sometimes it's just the simple stuff that really builds that strength and muscle. I'm not going to be going heavy today. I mean, it's early in the morning and I'm a couple months deep into finally being pain-free for my back after years of, back pain. So not going to be taking it too heavy, guys. So you see even somebody like my size, about 215 to 220 pounds, I'm going light even on the squat and deadlift. Sometimes it's all about control and building that foundation again. You got to be willing to look long term and not lift with your ego. Because a guy like me, when I used to come back from any injury that I had, I would always lift my ego, and I didn't want people to see me lifting these lighter weights, or I just couldn't stand lifting the lighter weights. And that's what would always prolong my rehab process. And I don't want to see you guys do the same thing. If you're going through injury or if you're just getting started in the gym, do not risk your health, guys. I'm telling you. It's kind of like when you get sick, right? You do anything. Like if you're like throwing up, right? Or you feel completely like just terrible. It's like you do anything to feel good again. And that's how you feel when you're injured. And I can tell you, suffering from like 10 years of constant injury, all kinds of different injuries, probably more than 10 years to be honest. Because I used to kind of deal with some aches and pains back in the day just from pushing myself a little too much, and it kind of led to some overuse injuries. But those weren't even the worst. The worst were like, the injuries I got from squatting or deadlifting and just being a little too crazy and not listening to my body. My mind was always light years ahead of my body. My mind always wanted to lift it, even if my body wasn't capable of. So that's caused me to lift some crazy heavy weights in the past. But it came with a price. Anyway, this is just kind of a side rant. You guys get the idea. But the last thing I wanted to say was, today was one of those 4 a.m. mornings where the last thing I wanted to do was get up. But that's why it's important to have a morning process, and it's great to have a gym partner or a coach as an accountability person for you. A reason to get out of bed when you don't feel like it. Because if it's just about you, a lot of times you're just gonna choose to sleep in. You're not going to go to the gym. You're going to find an excuse rather than finding a way. But yeah, when you got somebody counting on you, or you got somebody, as a gym partner that's also going to be at the gym, and they're going to fulfill their word because they expect you to do the same. That helps keep you in the gym when your mind tries to play tricks on you. And yeah, and I just have to remind myself again, like I said, that every time you leave the gym, and when you're in the thick of the middle of the workout, you never regret being there. You're always glad that you're there. So just practicing what I'm always preaching with that. All right, guys, remember the first thing you always want to start off with is the treadmill. I'd say a minimum of 5 minutes, but 10-15 minutes helps you get a little sweat going, warm up the body, get you in that flow state, and get you ready for that workout. And again, kind of like the other leg day, the first thing we're going to be starting off with is these dead mills. The treadmill should be off, so you're using your legs to basically push this thing. And this is really going to get your quads firing up. Great warm up for the quads. And if you ever have seen the guy Knees Over Toes guy on YouTube, he's all about knee rehab. If you have any knee injuries, check out his YouTube page. He's got all kinds of different workouts and progressions to rehab from your knee. He's had like ACL, MCL, PCL, all kinds of different tears, ligament tears in his knees. Came all the way back from that, squats ass to the grass now, dunks higher than he ever has in his life. So these are one of the things he advocates for, walking backwards, especially either with a sled or on a treadmill like this. So these are definitely also great for bulletproofing the knees, even if you don't have a knee injury yet. So again, you want to do these for 3 to 5 minutes. Then the first exercise you guys are going to be performing is the barbell back squat. You're going to be doing 4 total sets. So set 1, you're working up to a top set of 5 at an RPE of 7, meaning you're leaving 3 reps in the tank. And then you're going to do 3 working sets at 90%. You're going to do 5 reps again, but at 90% of that top set. So you see I'm squatting here. This is actually one of my warm-up sets. I do a lot of warm-up sets nowadays, now that my back is essentially 100%, but I just want to keep it that way. So I only worked up to a top set of 185. And you can just tell that I just take every rep nice and slow. Perform every rep exactly the same. Doesn't matter what the weight is, even if it's just the bar. So I did 185 pounds, and then I did 90% of that for sets of 5 for my last 3 sets of 5. So I think that's 165 here. And yeah, that's the first exercise. And then exercise number 2 is going to be the barbell deadlift. You are following the exact same protocol, 4 sets, working up to a top set of 5 at an RP of 7, and then you're doing 90% of that top set for 3 sets of 5. And you can see this is my probably 4th warm-up set. I did a lot of warm-up sets, and I just worked up to a top set of 225, which is what you see right here. Try to perform every rep exactly the same. Whether it's 135 pounds on the bar or 500 pounds on the bar, you want to be as consistent as possible. You'll see the way I line up. I kind of get my abs engaged. I hinge back by pushing my butt back as though I'm closing a drawer behind me. And I have the bar about mid-foot. You want to look down and be able to see your foot getting cut in half. And you want to keep those feet flat, drive through the floor. You should be almost pressing the weight up with your legs first. Then when you get to about knee level, that's when you can hip in with your hips. So you don't want to lift with your back right away from the floor, otherwise you're going to fuck up your back. So always start off with leg drive. Alright, and then the next set of exercises is actually going to be a superset, meaning you do the exercises back to back. You're going to start with the banded TKEs for 3 sets of 8 to 10, which is what you see me doing here. Basically, you just loop this band around the back of your knee. You're going to keep it light though. You want a light, thin band. And you're just bringing that knee forward while keeping that front foot flat. And you're going to flex at the top of each rep for about 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds in my opinion. Get a nice contraction, and you're going to feel these. They don't look like much, but you really will feel them. But again, keep that front foot flat and only bring that knee as far forward as you can while keeping that front foot flat. And as soon as you finish one set of the banded TKEs, again, this is a superset, so you're going to go straight to your first set of glute ham raises. And these are essentially hamstring curls. You're basically doing a hamstring curl here. Right, you're going to bring yourself to about parallel or slightly below and then curl with your hamstrings. Don't think about picking yourself up with your back. Think about your hamstrings curling yourself. You just kind of put your feet in the machine, and you're going to adjust this machine according to your height. I'm going to be showing you guys in a second how to do that. But yeah, again, you're just going to keep these nice, slow, and controlled. These are 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. You can do these weighted if they're too easy, but just feel them out with body weight first. And then again, as I said, this is not a one-size-fits-all machine, so you're going to see there's a pin back here that you can pull on and adjust this according to whatever your height is, and just play around with it till something feels right. The pad should be sitting around your mid to upper thigh. And the last exercise you guys are going to do is very simple, weighted toe touches, 3 sets of 20, about 60 seconds rest between sets. Very simple, just lay on a mat, grab a plate, or you can do these without any weight. Obviously it's 20 reps, so it's kind of a lot, and you just basically go and touch your toes. Bring your back to the mat, touch your toes, and ideally you want to have your legs as straight as possible, but most people don't have the flexibility in their hamstrings to keep their legs locked out like that, so it's completely fine to have your legs slightly bent.
Look how pasty I look, bro. Such a pasty motherfucker, even if dark.
Yeah, I gotta be flexing like this all the time. It would be nice if it would have
get my good angle.
If it was an upper body day. No, but I was literally just saying that on the way here, just not wanting to show up in the morning. It's just how powerful having a partner to go with is.
Yeah.
Especially when you're at least building the habit at first. It's always nice to have somebody.
Yeah. Especially, like I felt so sick this morning. Like I said, I was in the verge of fucking yakking this morning. I was like, man, I gotta go. It's like having that person that holds you accountable, and like obviously you want to hold yourself accountable first off, but to have that, second person that just, it keeps you showing up.
It's just another reason why to keep going,
You don't want to let people down. It's like a natural instinct.
Yeah, and it, I feel like it just kind of proves the fact that, when it comes to ourselves, a lot of times we don't respect ourselves enough to show up for ourselves. But when
it's weird,
it's somebody else, it just gives you that little extra push to.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing, but you gotta find that. I still think at the end of the day, you gotta find that respect for yourself to show up and do things you need to do.
That's what I'm saying, though.
In general.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost like a weird thing. It's almost like you have higher respect for other people than you do for yourself, at least towards other goals.
Yeah.
At least that's how I am outside of the gym with some of my stuff. I can usually push myself to go to the gym, but it's sometimes those other things that just another discipline aspect of your life you kind of have to apply.
Yeah. Or shout out to Coach Koshar. You remember him saying that crap, dude?
What he used to say?
And he's like, no one gives a damn. He's like, no one cares that your girlfriend broke up with you. No one cares that your dog died. Maybe your mom will care, but besides that, no one's going to give a shit. You have a job to do, and we expect you to complete it, no matter how you feel.
Yeah.
And you feel better for it.
It's a cutthroat mentality, but I mean, that's honestly the thing that we all need to hear. Because what are you going to do? You can't have a positive by just putting a negative back into a negative. If you feel like shit and then you don't do anything about it, you're just going to feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Why are you sitting closer? I feel like I need to be sitting closer, bro. You make me look so small.
Making you look so small.
Fucking Brandon here at 220 sitting there when I'm 170. Next time, I'm getting me up close to you, bro.
Out angling him on top of it. Can never let him win.